Ray Kurzweil has made a lot of predictions over the years, and one prediction that has been consistent has been regarding the concept of longevity escape velocity, a term actually coined by Aubrey de Grey. Unlike the predictions about AI and the power of computation, there's little evidence that we are approaching longevity escape velocity. Kurzweil likes to claim that life expectancy is increasing at 3 to 4 months per year currently, but according to the United Nations, there were actually only a few countries, if you exclude the least developed countries who attained their rapid gains in life expectancy through increases in basic sanitation and basic healthcare, and therefore are not entirely relevant to the concept of longevity escape velocity. If you exclude those countries, there were only a few that attained the 4 month per year growth in life expectancy, and only slightly more that attained the 3 month per year growth in life expectancy. Now, one might argue that the appearance of COVID makes the data skewed, but I would argue that it is necessary to include pandemics because, after all, if you die from old age or pandemics, you still die. Of course, are the countries which are increasing their life expectancy actually getting those years from advances in medical technology? Possibly, but it's almost certainly not the case that all the gains are coming from medical technology. Decreases in pollution or other environmental factors like people exercising more or changing their diet could be contributing to the increase. Now, when one considers the level of investment into human longevity, it paints a dire picture for those who would claim the nigh arrival of longevity escape velocity. For example, Johnson & Johnson, one of the largest biopharmaceutical companies, pales in comparison to the valuation of a company like Nvidia. Nvidia is valued on the order of 2 trillion, Johnson & Johnson less than half a trillion. In addition, the budget of the National Institutes of Health, which funds most basic science and most things in most research programs in the universities, only has a budget of around 48 billion, which when you spread it along all the different problems that they're attempting to address, is a paltry sum to solve the problem of longevity. Now, you might say that changing the paradigm from attacking singular diseases as we've been doing, like cancer, heart disease, and all these other diseases, could solve the problem, but that suffers from an even greater dearth of funding. If you look at the National Institute of Aging, the amount of money that actually goes into solving aging is basically nothing because what they're actually investing is the diseases related to old age and not aging itself. And then if you look at the entrepreneurs, even someone like Jeff Bezos, they're only putting in like $1 billion into something like Altos, which again is not nearly enough to solve the problem of aging or of longevity escape velocity. Now, when we talk about computational power, it's increased because the problem has been soluble. There's been solutions to the problems of increasing computation given the funds available, and because the funds have produced tangible results that were able to be implemented almost immediately, and therefore the market demanded more of it, and therefore more funds were given. This is not the case with problems in health. Basic, clinical trials they almost or not almost always, but they have a tendency to fail, and we don't see this with soluble problems like semiconductors. So problems like biology and quantum computation, which are, by the way, orders of magnitude more complex than semiconductors, receive relatively little investment and are much more difficult to crack. This is why we don't see a Moore's law-like progression for these technologies. Now, before you say that the number of qubits has been increasing and all this, well, qubits don't tell the whole story for quantum computers. And the fact is, we don't have functional quantum computers that can do, well, a lot of things. They can do almost nothing at the moment. Besides, the idea here is not to say that there hasn't been progress in these areas, but rather that we're nowhere near close to cracking usable quantum computation, or more pertinent to this video, biology. Fact of the matter is, there are so many ways your body could fail you right now for which medical science can do nothing that it's a really scary prospect. If you want to know how long you'll live, the best bet is still to look at something like an actuarial table, which tells you that if you're a male in the United States, your odds of reaching 100 are about half a percent. Never mind that you will inevitably decay in the intervening time period. So unless you're waiting for AI to fix all of our problems, we better stop hoping and we better stop working to fix the dastardly aspect of our lives that is aging, death, and decay. Because at the rate we're going, we will not attain longevity escape velocity, possibly within our lifetimes. Unless, of course, as I said, AI saves us all.